your girl here?
All right, y'all. So we about to get ready and go digital in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, good people. You have just entered in the mortal portal with the title Millennials. This is Diverse Universe, and it's about to be a big one right here, man. This is about to be a dope show, man.
Yes, sir. We are turning out today.
Oh. Okay.
I'm interrupted today, okay? Ladies, we are taking over today, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
We have kicked the fellas to the side, and we are in the building.
Out
So
of there,
we're
coach.
super excited to be here today to take over So Diverse, y'all. I have some boss ladies in the building, so I want to give them an opportunity to introduce themselves. But before we do that, I do want to highlight that today is a special takeover. We are doing an exclusive episode of Female Bosses today here at So Diverse. We want to make sure that we're letting the ladies use their voices today. So who do we have on our panel? I'm going to go ahead and go to my left real quick. The lovely Leah Laverne is here in the building. Lovely,
Yes,
are you here? Are you
hello,
here? Talk to me.
Hello. Nice to see y'all again. Thanks for having me back.
Of course, of course. We're so excited to have Aaliyah back on the show today. We're also going to go ahead and move on to my right. The lovely Miss Mimi, the multi-million-dollar real estate agent, Miss Mimi, the entrepreneur, Miss Mimi. Miss Mimi Bird is in the building. Miss Mimi, how you doing
Hello,
today?
everyone. Good. Doing good.
Hello.
We're happy to have you. We're
Thank
happy
you.
to have you.
She got a radio voice. Let me hear your radio voice.
Stop it.
Let me hear your radio voice. You always had a radio voice to me, and I'm just happy to hear
We
it.
sound alike, raspy voices.
And you know, I don't like my voice, but like people say that's a radio voice.
Well, I guess so then.
But like
I
people
can't
listen.
sing.
It's soothing.
I cannot
I feel
sing.
like you can.
I feel like you
No.
can hold it. I'm telling you. There's something over there in that voice. You got to be able to hold a note somewhere. What's your favorite
Let me
song?
carry
I
that
can
to
pray.
Okay,
Oh,
come
yeah.
on.
Tell me.
Yeah, that's
Come
all we
on
need right
now.
I know
That's
that's
all
right.
right. That is all right.
So that's singing enough.
That's it. All right. And then, of course, next to her, we have Nate in the building.
Yeah. Talk to him.
Yeah. Go ahead and talk to him real quick.
What do that mean? I just been want to know.
You know what? I don't know.
Okay.
We're going to find out today, though. We're going to make it up.
find out.
We're going to make it up. We're going to boss up and make it work today.
Whatever this
Let's go.
That's it. That's it. That's it. And of course, a childhood friend that I have, but she is a boss all in her own. Miss Erin Lofton, our traveling counselors in the building. Go ahead and let them know who it is real quick.
Hi, everybody. This is my first time on this particular podcast, but you can find me on Instagram at the traveling counselor _. I am a travel agent for millennials.
Dope.
Yes. Did y'all hear that? So for those of us that like to get our travel on, we need to go ahead and hit up our traveling counselor. So one more time, tell them how to find you.
So you can find me on Instagram at the traveling counselor _. And I am currently doing Black Friday deals until the end of November.
Okay, y'all heard that now. So all of us that want to travel in 2024, there are some Black Friday deals going on. So go ahead and save your coins. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Where we going?
Somewhere
Where we
sunny.
going? We going to Jamaica next year. All right.
All right,
We gonna-
Jamaica.
we gonna write it up. All right, so we are gonna have some more bosses coming and joining us as the show goes on. So y'all tune in, definitely tune in. But we're gonna go ahead and get started, ladies. So thank you again for joining us today. Super excited to have y'all on the show. We are going to go ahead and open up our topics. So Leah, I'm gonna start with you, and then we'll kind of make our way around the room. But first and foremost, again, ladies, we are important, right? We're important
Yes,
not
ma'am.
only to our generation, but we're important to the world. And so we want to talk today about why we are so important. And talk about our role in today's society a little bit, because I feel like it's been a little bit misconstrued, right? There's been some messages out there. So we're going to
Definitely.
clear it up today. We're going to clear it up.
Definitely.
Okay, so
Let's
first
talk
and
about
foremost, let's talk about what it is to be a woman in today's society and what that role specifically looks like. So Leah, if you can, just as a woman, go ahead and lay it out to them real quick.
That's kind of heavy, though. It's kind of heavy when you say that because, I mean, outside of our femininity, I would say, it's so much that goes into just being a human being, a person, and we're just people at the end of the day. And, you know, that feminism, that soft part, that, you know, that little bit of extra compassion and determination and drive and strength and you know, I can go on and on because when you get into being a woman, I mean, it's a lot that we were expected to do, and now it's a lot that not only we're expected to do, but we have to do, but then we're condemned for doing. So then it's like, okay, so am I just a nurturer? Am I a builder? Am I a creator for my family? Or do I also need to make sure I go out and I'm the provider? I have to make sure I'm the teacher, make sure I'm raising the kids, make sure I'm a student as well, because I got to learn what I need to learn so I can make sure that I teach my kids. If that's even, you know, something that you want to pursue, is having children. Maybe it's just your career and you feel the same way about your career. It's a heavy question. Like I said, you could take that a lot of ways when it says, what does it mean to be a woman? Because are we talking about in society? Are we talking about in the workplace? Are we talking about, like we said, raising kids?
We're specifically today talking about in today's society. So we'll go back to the question is, what does it mean to be a woman in today's society?
Well, on a business aspect, because, you know, we're bosses in here. You feel me? On a business aspect, right now, just speaking for the room, you know, Black women entrepreneurs, Black bosses, women bosses are the #1 group. We're earning the most, we're learning the most, and, you know, it's a reason for that. And it's almost because we've been pushed into the position where we have to do that, because for me, just speaking for me, my mom didn't teach me a lot of things, and my grandma didn't even teach me a lot of things, even though her grandparents knew a lot of things. They owned their homes and businesses, but that fell out somewhere along the way in the generations, and when it got to me, I'm learning everything for the first time for my family when it comes to credit and it comes to creating LLCs. Even though they had successful businesses, they were just, you know, mom and pop under the table. You get a couple contracts, you make some money, your family's good. But now it's different because we want to build generational wealth that lasts. I want to build something that if I'm working for today, my grandkids can enjoy these fruits. So, you know, we have a lot on our plates just when it comes to being in society on the workforce side of it. But at the same time, I know I've dealt with issues to where they feel like now I'm not a mother enough. Now I'm not home enough because I'm willing to be gone a couple of weeks away from my children to go secure the bag instead of sitting at home. So it's, you know, it's a give and a take, but if I gotta go do that and be the sacrifice, then that's cool.
Definitely. Thank you for that. That is so important. There's a few things that we're going to definitely touch on in a minute. We'll come back to a few of those points. But Miss Mimi, I'm going to go ahead and let you speak to us real quick. Speak to the ladies, Miss Mimi. What is it to me, or what does it mean to be a woman in today's society?
Well, I think it's everything she said. And it's seasonality. So you got to know what season you're in, right? Mm-hmm. And it's, I'm careful when I say balance because I'm not a real believer in balance always. Sometimes you got to carry the whole load. So it depends on what season you're in, and embrace the season. You know, showing up humble, grateful, and know what your purpose is right now today and how you're able to give, you know, how I can bless you. You know what I'm saying? And whatever it is that I'm doing. So you can be a boss, but you have to be careful what that looks like. Like when you say you're a boss in today's society, are you putting on masculinity? So are you gonna castrate a man when you go out? You know, you just gotta know who you are.
Yeah.
Right? You gotta know who you are on the inside. Right. You know, and then that will exude. And it should bless others. We're here for others. You're not just here for yourself. But you got to know who you are,
right?
You know, in today's society. So I think that question is so deep.
Right.
It's a big question. You can come from it from different angles. But I think the core of it is, first you need to know who you are. And you need to know what season you're in. I'm in my 50s, and I will tell you.
You look good.
I know, that's right.
Thank you.
For real.
On my 50th birthday, 2 years ago, It took me 50 years to really embrace the whole of who Mimi Bird is, right? And it took me that long. I don't want to take, so I'm passionate about, giving out to other younger females. And you just got to know who you are. You got to know who you are. And be careful with the masculine role, right?
Yeah.
God created us differently, and so
Exactly.
we do have masculine traits that show up, especially if you are a single mom or whatever your dynamic is. You just gotta know what season you're in. You gotta know what role you play at today.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Move accordingly.
Yes. Now I know y'all heard a few jewels drop, so we're gonna come back to a
for
few of those
sure.
jewels in a minute. Okay, but real quick, I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the next person. So we'll allow everybody to answer the question. But we're gonna come back and visit those jewels in a second. But Nate, go ahead and talk to him real quick. What does it mean to be a woman in today's society, and does that look different for different people?
Yes, it does look different, So the women now, we're a different breed. I can't even lie.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? We're a different breed. So it's like our role today is to do everything. You know what I'm saying? Because one thing I can say, a man not gonna take the steps to learn how to braid his daughter hair if he got one. But we
Not
gonna
many
take the
will.
steps to learn everything that we need to learn to make sure that
I'm gonna leave it
everything
on the
done.
tab. I'm gonna leave it on the tab.
Y'all not even here today, bro. Y'all
Not
even here
many
today,
of them.
okay?
You're right.
We gonna come
Right.
back
Right.
saying,
Yeah.
y'all not even here today, bro. So look, I'm just saying, and I'm gay. You know what I'm saying? But that's just something I know. So we're very important. We're very important. So that's why every move we make have to shake the room for real. Like our role is very important. We're the mind, we're the brain of everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like we're the smartest. We mature faster. So it's like we're already there. So we still be waiting for our man to catch up to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's like, nah, you're already 10 steps ahead.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So
You can't slow your
the
progress.
role is to do everything. I ain't even gonna lie, it's to do everything. Everything.
Okay. We gonna
Yeah.
listen. We're getting to the jewels today. Okay, we're gonna come back. We're definitely gonna come back. I appreciate that feedback. We're gonna go ahead and move on. So, Erin, talk to us real quick, love. What does it mean to be a woman in today's society?
It's a loaded question. So I personally feel as though women today, I feel like it's a bit more inclusive. We're in a lot more rooms that we weren't able to be in a long time ago. We're able to pursue careers, education, and we can contribute to just various fields that, like I said, we weren't able to previously. And I think it's important to be able to walk into a room and take up space. And when I say take up space, like she just said, like you have to be able to shake the table. And people need to know, like, when you walk in the room, like, you mean business,
Yeah.
So just being a woman in today's society just means, like, owning, who you are, showing up as your authentic self, and being able to, walk into those different rooms and, just be you. I know my answer is more to the point. I'm just kind of like, just be you, be authentic, and just show up, as yourself.
Yes. Definitely. I appreciate that, ladies. And to be comfortable in a space with other women, we're going to definitely address those points as well, because that's important. Like you said, to kind of take up space and really stand in who you are. And then Miss Mimi touched on that as well, right? Identifying who you are so that you can really kind of identify what spaces you even need to be in.
Right.
Because a lot of time there's a lot of wasted energy that we utilize in spaces that we may not necessarily need to be in. So we'll come back to that for sure.
Yeah.
But really quickly, we have another boss that just joined the table really quickly. So we want to go ahead and give her opportunity to introduce herself. So really quickly, Miss Sunny, go ahead. Let them know who it is, what it is, and what you do.
Okay, so use your mic. How y'all doing? My name is Sunny Wright. I'm 29 years old. I have 2 daughters. I'm a full-time entrepreneur. I do hair, music, taxes. I am a life agent. I'm a notary public. Girl, I do it all.
Because the list goes on.
I don't like being tied down to no job, so
That's
I
right.
have to just get it in whatever way that I feel like I need to, you know. So that's me. I'm happy to be here, and I hope to learn from you all.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about, ladies. In the room, okay? Welcome. Again, today is a special ladies, female bosses episode. So the question on the table right now is, what does it mean to be a woman in today's society? So I want to give you an opportunity to go ahead and address that. I know you mentioned that you're a mom, you're a boss, you're a mogul. So what does it mean to be a woman in what seems like a changing and evolving world?
Okay. For me, honestly, it feels. Wait, what was the question?
So what does it mean to be a woman in today's society?
Let me tell y'all why I was late. First off,
Go ahead. Tell
I'm
us the
late
story.
because I drove an hour and 50 minutes away. Okay,
Ooh,
so I'm really committed. Okay,
Yes,
so I ain't really get time to study the questions. Be honest, yourself, be true. You know, if you be committed, reliable, dependent, have passion with what you do, and you operate out of love, you know, operate out of love with joy. You use God, you pray, When you get frustrated, for me, I meditate. I try to go to walk, take walks, go to the creek. I don't know. I just
Y'all don't let her pass with that go to the creek. Y'all figure out what,
not to the creek. Go to the creek.
she said go to the creek. Y'all just deny.
Y'all don't go to the creek. Y'all don't go to the creek. Y'all don't water for sure. Y'all don't take self-care. Like I don't.
No, self-care looks different for everybody, I think.
Yeah.
So
But I
some
do like
people,
to go
you know,
to water.
I don't do bugs.
Okay.
Right? So I can be around water if it's like a body of water, like a pool,
Beach.
right? Or a
Yeah.
beach,
Yeah.
right? Even with the beach, though, it has to be a good beach because you get crabs at the beach. It's a lot. Okay? We're specific. Okay? We're very specific. So, yes, self-care looks different, I think, for everybody. And so, as women, then, we can touch on that point a little bit, right? Why is it that self-care is so important to us, especially with us being entrepreneurs? We're multifaceted. We are women who indulge in and are invested in our craft. So why is self-care so essential to being a woman, and why do you need to make sure that you take that time to pour back into yourself? Leah, I'll let you go first.
When giving out to the world so much, pouring so much into your business, so much into these rooms that we're filling up, so much into our children, so much into our partners, you have to replenish.
Yes.
Just from my experience, like Queen was saying, really, I do it all too, Queen, for real. I'll meditate, I'll take my walks, I like to stretch. Bodies of water are great for me just to clear my mind. Even driving, honestly, driving just by myself. I don't mind long road trips just so I can get out of my head a little bit. But just taking that time to pour back into you, you have to do it. And just from my experience, before I learned real self-care, what true self-care was, like she said, going to read my Bible, anxiety and depression. And this started when I was a kid. So I didn't know nothing about I shouldn't have known as much about being anxious as I did. But it just grew until I got to college and they turned into panic attacks. Now I'm having random panic attacks all the time. And it was because I wasn't taking the time to replenish. So it was almost like I'm going off a dead battery and it's the last juice before, baby, you got to sit down. So it's essential. I mean, just as a person, you got to replenish. You know, our bodies are machines, and if you think about it like that, then you got to feed the machine. You still got to clean it, got to make sure it run, oil that bad boy up. You got to do all of that. Yeah. So, yeah, it's essential.
Okay.
I'm so sorry to interrupt. I want to let everybody know if this is your first time being here, it's usually never like this. And it's not, if you're looking at us and we look like, hey, it's normal, it's us trying to keep a game face. We never do this with a party downstairs, so it's really kind of thrown off. So while she's talking about having panic attacks and we listen to blame it on the alcohol, never happens here. So I just want to let you guys know I appreciate you guys for being very professional and believe us when we say this is new to us as well. Sorry again, Flex is back on you.
All right, perfect. Thank you, bro. We appreciate you. Really quickly, we want to go ahead and keep going with the question, right? So, we already talked about why mental health is so important. Sunny definitely highlighted it for us. So, Miss Mimi, as a woman who has already been there, done that, and is giving advice to the younger generation, what would you say mental health and self-care plays as part of being a woman?
It's extremely vital. Again, I go back to self-care is necessary. It's not being selfish, because if your tank is empty, how can you give out to anybody else?
Absolutely.
You will absolutely not be able to give to your children, you know, your spouse, your significant other, your family. Like, you'll burn out.
Right.
And I've been there. I'm a workaholic. I'm a serial entrepreneur. And my husband, all the time, he tells me, you need to slow down. He knows how to space out his stuff. We are multitaskers.
Yeah.
And learning, again, I'm careful with the word balance, right? But you got to know what season you're in. And when you understand, when you really begin to understand you, and when you understand, like, this is the season I'm in, let me gear up for this, because it's going to be busy, right? So it was a lot. When my kids, I have 3 children, and they are all sports. And when they became teenagers, I did not know what I was about to embark. But literally, working as an entrepreneur, I get up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. I'd be to work at 5:30 in the morning, and the whole time,
Yeah.
And something is gonna go lacking. I don't care what, something is gonna go lacking. And when you begin to really understand, like, everything is not gonna be perfect, and have grace for yourself,
Exactly.
and forgive yourself, and give yourself permission to fail.
Right.
Because failing is nothing but a lesson. That's it.
Right.
So, that's just kind of my general. I can go deeper with that, but self-care is so important. Mental health. You need to, if you don't pray, if you don't meditate, if you're good at talking with your friend, you just need to sit and your friends need to allow you to express yourself. Today, I think what frustrates me, because I'm older, what frustrates me a lot of times is I would like to, with like kids and their parents, listen. Because I didn't do it. Sometimes I would cut my kids off in the middle of them trying to express whatever they're going to. And sometimes people just need you to hear them. They don't need you to figure out the solution. They just need a dumping ground for a second. So that's kind of my take.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. We really do appreciate that feedback. That's important. We gonna, again, Miss Mimi dropping jewels. We gonna come back to the jewels.
Hey, if I can ask a question?
Yes.
She said a lot of good stuff. All right. You were saying it's important about balance and then knowing the season. Now, a lot of people throw the season word.
No, it's a deep
Yeah.
word.
Yeah.
Right.
So how do you?
Seasonality can be. I'm not. My husband and I was just talking about this on the way here. So seasonality could be grind mode, and it doesn't. Seasonality doesn't have to be a month, a quarter. It could be today.
Uh-huh.
I'm getting up at 5.
Facts.
I have my task. I'm grinding. Don't bother me. You know what I mean? You gotta get yourself some dinner. I'm not doing none of that.
Yeah.
Like, this is my focus. And you have to be careful with seasonality. You gotta know who you are. You gotta know how you operate, how you flow. And when out of that, then you will know, okay, I'm in this season of my life, right? So you just had a new baby. You gotta nurture
That's
that
a new
baby.
season.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
For
Thank you.
sure.
That's a new season.
Yeah.
And you have to understand that as a parent, like, you gotta show up, you gotta be there. It's important. It's important. It was important for me to show up for my kids when they had special things at school. I don't care what I got going on, but that was the season I was in. So you have to know your season. You have to, and again, it could change day by day, week by week, month by month. But you need to know, and nobody can answer that for you. I don't know what you have going on.
That's right.
I don't know what you got to do tomorrow. And really, you don't owe me an explanation. It's nice if you give me one, but if you don't give me an explanation, I need to give you the grace and support you,
Right.
And be there for you
Through that season.
I like
that's
that.
how it is.
And
Yeah.
I just want to say this right here. She just gave a great scenario. If you in a season where you in grind mode, well, you also got to have that same courtesy for yourself. Don't make time for the foolishness. That's when it get confusing. You want everybody else around you to acknowledge you on grind mode. I can't come to the birthday party,
You're right.
but you make time to fight with somebody.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? So you also got to have that same mindset for yourself to be like, hey, I don't even got time to even fight with you right now
Right.
because I'm on grind mode.
Yep.
So hey, I'm gonna deal with you another season. But for right now, I'm gonna move along.
And
Flex.
wait, and that's the courtesy.
Yeah.
Right?
That's the
the
courtesy.
and the courtesy is respect. It's
Yeah.
love. It's
Yeah.
saying, this is where I am today. You know, and you may not even understand it all, but this is where I am.
Yeah.
You know, and me being I've been a people pleaser
Yes, ma'am.
all my life.
I suffer from people
And
pleasing.
again,
Yes.
but I didn't get delivered until I turned 50.
Not anymore.
Until I turned 50 years old. And when I turned 50, I was like, man, forget all of this. Like, I don't have to do. Because I was such a yes person, when I started saying no, people freak out.
What?
Yep.
Offended.
Like
they
you're the
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Which
offended.
goes into imposter syndrome.
Yep.
I'm not the problem. You
No,
are.
exactly.
You small.
Right. You're
You know,
just
are you
used to
That's
this.
good right
Are
now.
you
Come
used to
on
being
now.
Yeah.
manipulative?
Yes.
You're used to
Yeah, that's
right.
good.
She was
Yes.
gonna say something.
Yes. We're
No,
going to
you
talk.
Yeah.
okay, cause this you started with this, but I wanted to piggyback because like I'm in my season.
Okay. What season
People
you
don't
in?
What
know.
season though?
Right.
I'm
Which
in my
season?
season grind
You
mode.
got-
I'm
you
in
have
There we go.
grind mode.
There we
season.
go.
I am in
Yeah.
grind mode season. I don't care. I used to be one of those people too. To seek validation, people please. I used to always say yes to everything just to get people to like me. My parents, I wanted them to love me, be proud of me. They never said that at all. Okay, ever. I wanted my sisters, them to treat me as that. But as I'm getting older and I'm in my healing stages, you know, I journal, I meditate, I pray, I listen to God, and He speaks to me. Technically, we don't have to do nothing at all but exist.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes,
Literally.
ma'am. For real.
We doing it
I'm
to
trying to tell
ourselves,
you.
our lives already
Everything
written
else.
out. So when you said
Yeah.
that, it touched me. Grind mode, let me tell you, I'm an artist. I'm multiple things. I started off as an artist and a hairstylist though, and I didn't take my craft as serious. I told you I drove an hour and 50 minutes. I
Yeah.
screenshotted it just to show y'all so y'all wouldn't think that, oh, she lying or she just late. Black people time, no, it's not that. I'm literally in my season because I know where it is that I'm trying to get to. It used
Right.
to be, I want a family, I want a husband, this, that, and the third.
Right.
But when my mind was on that and I had got into my relationships, that was what I was solely focused on. And it was taken away from me and
Right.
my purpose and who I was supposed to be as a woman. You feel
Exactly.
me? So since I've been healing and learning who I am, it's been amazing.
Yeah.
It's been beautiful. Cause can't nobody, you can't
Yeah.
touch me.
Yeah,
You
now
can't
because
stop
you
me,
know,
like,
right?
Right.
That's
Yeah.
the part that every woman want to get to
I don't
though,
care what
because
you
when a
say.
woman crash out
Yeah.
from
Come on
being
now.
tired, they crash out.
And I
We
used to be
crash out. I'm the
suicidal.
same person.
Yeah.
I
I
did
used to
2
be
weeks in the mental
suicidal.
hospital.
That's
I tried
wild.
to shoot myself in the
Me-
head. I used to
That's
cut
wild.
myself.
Yeah.
I dropped out of high school.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
And I'm bipolar. I
It's
got
okay.
I got a whole bunch of mental issues.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like that self care is very
Yes.
important.
And,
Yeah.
and
And
a
the
lot of
thing
people
where you
don't understand
right,
it.
and the thing you want to get to saying no is like don't feel guilty when you say
Yeah.
no.
There you go.
Exactly.
That's the hardest
nah.
thing because you're
Yeah,
so used to
you're
just
right.
saying yes. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? It's just time for you to
And now
say
you feel
yes
bad.
to
Right.
yourself.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's like I'm in my season
That
too.
way.
Yeah.
And
I
I know
can feel it.
I'm in my peaking
I
season
can feel it.
only because the devil is attacking me so
There you
hard.
go.
Hey.
He
But
come
he
harder.
is.
You here for a
I ain't even
reason.
gonna lie. I broke
comes
down today.
harder.
And my birthday Monday.
And
You know what I'm
it's
saying?
okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
happy
You know what
early
I'm saying?
birthday! Yeah.
But it's like
I feel your
I'm in my
spirit.
peaking season.
I know.
I'm,
Yeah.
For real.
feel
Yeah.
For real. So it's like
I'm very spiritual.
being able to get that self care and have your balance to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's very, very
It is.
important. Because
You're
when
You're
you
not gonna
crash,
get there without it.
Nobody.
you crashing on everybody around you. Your
Exactly.
man gonna be like, damn, what's wrong with her? You probably won't
Right.
even have no, because we crash and we
and nobody is going to understand you
not
but
gonna understand.
you. So if you
It's-
don't get up and take
For
care of
real.
yourself,
Yeah.
you're gonna drown. You're
For
gonna
real.
die. You're gonna drown.
So with that, right, because we're talking about all of these essential elements, I want to go back to a point that Miss Mimi made, which was imposter syndrome. And I feel like in our culture and with Black women in general, this is something that we suffer from when we are trying to progress, right? When we're trying to get out of a spot that we're not familiar with. We get very uncomfortable in situations, and that's where a lot of time for Black women, anxiety comes off as aggression.
Yeah.
Right? That's a word that is used familiarly with Black women when they're describing us. And a lot of times we're unable to identify what season we're in so that we can communicate what we're going through.
Right.
In order for somebody to understand or help you, they have to be able to understand, right? So that's where it comes.
That was good.
That's where it comes to points where, you know, you sit down with your friends and you're having conversations with them. That's where, you know, you're, whether it's an older person, Miss Mimi made a great point, listening to your parents because they've already been there, right? They've experienced seasons that it's not as easy for us to get out of, it is easier, for us to get out of marriages now than it was for them because they didn't necessarily believe in that, right? They didn't have access to as much. So now you're seeing a transition where women are starting to have a little bit more self-care. They're having a little bit more self-confidence being built. So when it comes to imposter syndrome, I want to identify what that means. So imposter syndrome is essentially self-doubt or of intellect, skills, or accomplishments among high-achieving individuals, right? So again, as you're progressing up the ladder, you start to question yourself. So Aaron, I want to kind of go to you a little bit for you to talk about, have you ever experienced anything like that, right? Imposter syndrome. And if you did, how were you able to identify that and kind of pull yourself from that?
So first, I just want to start by saying, for the people listening, I am actually a counselor. I have my master's in counseling. So coming from a therapy perspective, imposter syndrome can show up, like you said, for people who are high-achieving individuals or people who just don't believe that they're capable. I always tell people when I started my business, I didn't know what to expect, but I didn't expect this. When I started my business, I was just like, well, I don't really know who to expect to support me. Like, is it my friends? Is it my family?
Yeah.
You're not thinking about people that you don't know. And I'm just trying to give an example because I feel like an example is more realistic than just saying, oh, this is imposter syndrome. I do feel like I had it a little bit when I started, and it was just really more so me not knowing that I was capable of being an entrepreneur. And like I said, within like 3 months, my business took off. My followers, my followers skyrocketed. I hit 6 figures within 6 months.
Period.
Right.
Yes.
I created like 3 different streams of income that's contributing to, you know, the 6 figures and things like that. I'm bringing on people under me, all those things. And so it's just really important to believe in yourself. And even if you start something and it doesn't go well, that doesn't mean that that has to be the end of it. But when I said earlier, like when you walk into a room, you have to take up space. Like you have to show up for yourself, and other people will believe it. If you are confident in what you're doing or whatever service you're providing, and you can make it look good, I don't care how anxious or whatever you're feeling, you know, behind the scenes, if you can make it look good, people will want to support you. But of course, the product does actually have to be good. So, so you have to put in that work and things like that. So yeah, that's how I feel like I handle imposter syndrome. It's just more so just believing yourself, showing up and understanding like I can do this, because that's the first step. You know, you can't do it if you don't think you can do it, and who's gonna want to support you if you don't even think you can do it? If you don't believe yourself, right? Exactly. I'm not gonna want to go to a hairstylist that's doing my hair all soft. Right. Like you better grab my hair and do my hair like you know how you do it.
Like,
you
do you think these are too big? Is this is this a big part?
Exactly. No. I need to feel
I need you to
like,
know,
you know,
ma'am.
Exactly. I need to feel like, you know.
And that's crazy because you have to have the strength to do so. To do
Absolutely.
exactly what she said, because it's not even the other people that's knocking you down. They can be the ones rooting for you and saying, hey, you going somewhere, yeah, you this, you that. But it's really you. It's that piece of energy. That's, and in other words, it's the enemy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because that's something I deal with every day. Like, even bro, no, like 90% of the time at work, I'm mad. I'm for real. I'm really mad because I'm like, I cuss y'all out. I do this. I'm giving y'all so much energy and time that I don't even give myself. That I don't even give my business. You know what I'm saying? So, like, for real, at work, I be writing down every time and stuff like that. Stuff that I can feed to my mind, because every day it's a self battle with the 2 little people right here. Like, I know I'm off today. I'm gonna go to the studio. Nah, you off tomorrow too. You can go tomorrow. No, I'm trying to go today. You know what I'm saying? So it's like at that moment you're in the battle, because while you're saying no, I'm gonna go today, it's still that person. But you can do it tomorrow. But you can do it tomorrow. No, F you.
Until you do it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so you really have to have that strength to change it. So it's like, for me, it's more so of a mental thing. And for me, the mental is the most powerful. Outside of the tongue, like the mind.
Come on. That's something serious. Come back from.
You know, I pray on that every day to have strength to control my own mind. If you can't, that's what? It don't matter who believes in you.
On that.
Right.
Yeah, they say choose your thoughts like you choose your clothes.
There you go.
And I
Be very particular. I hope.
If you fly,
Some of y'all, I
if
was
you
about to say some of
fly,
y'all.
choose your thoughts like you choose your clothes. And remember,
If you
a diet is not just what you put in your mouth. It's also what you put in your head.
mind.
So if you're on a diet, you trying to look good, but you still watching these horrible black movies on Tubi. You know what I mean?
Reality TV.
You might as well go eat that ham sandwich.
Yeah.
That's why it's good to fast.
I mean, but don't hate on to.
Yes.
fast.
Now, there is
That's back
something
to that self-care.
that I want to kind of highlight a little bit that Aaron touched on. And it had to do with we are multifaceted individuals. Everybody up here has more than one stream of income.
Yeah.
Our generation in general, we're going after the bag. So one thing that I want to talk about, and Sonny, I want you to kind of highlight on this a little bit too, because there's a saying, and I want to kind of talk about it. It says, you're a jack of all trades and a master of none. So a lot of times, we invest a lot of our time and our energy into things that aren't necessarily being focused on, right? So if we are multifaceted, how do you align your time and how do you align your focus and your energy on those multiple businesses to really make sure that they're able to flourish and reach their full potential?
Oh, that's easy. Okay, so they work themselves actually.
Okay.
I'm a hairstylist. It was my main income, but the life agent is starting to be the main one. So it was on top of each other, but it's like God rearranging everything so it could work. So as a hairstylist, I'm flexible. I take my clients when I choose to, you know.
Yeah.
As a tax preparer, tax season is every year at the beginning of the
Right,
year, January to April. It's actually to October. So it's like I'm still making money throughout the year.
Yeah.
That's computer based. I take clients from home. I was working in the shop, but I was paying $700 extra a month. So I went back home because I felt like I need this to get a building. I
Right.
can put that same $700 up
To
a
your
month to get a
own.
building.
Exactly.
You
Yep.
know, music, that's flexible. I make it wherever I need to. So it's like, because I do so much, I make sure everything that I do bring in the income. I'm trying to create like passive income, generational wealth.
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
into crypto. I got
Yes,
Dogecoin.
ma'am.
I got stocks. So
Yep.
it's just like, eventually that one or two incomes is gonna trump the rest of them. I don't care
Yeah.
to do hair and all of that. I'm gonna get the building so the workers can do it.
Right.
I'm gonna be an owner.
Right.
I'm an owner. I'm a boss.
Yeah,
I
but at
don't
least
care
you'll
about-
know the inner workings. You know everything
Thank
about
you.
it, though.
You gotta work it. You gotta
Yeah.
be a worker, right?
Exactly.
Before you become a boss. But I'm a boss. I already did that work shit.
Thank you.
Okay,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
ain't got time for that.
Yes,
okay?
ma'am, Miss Honey.
I
That's
just balance
right.
out time. If it ain't
For
about
sure.
my money and my kids, everything else don't matter. Cause my lifestyle is that I want to live. I'm family oriented. I want
Yeah.
that. So you can't focus on. Okay, I realized I couldn't focus on getting the husband. I wasn't it together at all.
Yeah.
Now we gonna let Miss Mimi touch on that one, okay? Because I want to hear Miss Mimi's perspective on that. She said something that I think is very essential and important to our generation right now, because a lot of us are out here dating unintentionally, right?
Yeah.
And then expecting long-term results.
Yeah.
So Miss Mimi, talk to us real quick, Miss Mimi, about what that looks like for our generation. What is there a fear there?
Oh boy. We don't have enough time for that.
break it down. Break it down.
So break it down.
Well, you gotta know who you are. You gotta know who you are, and the man that God has for you will come. What I don't want, or I don't like for women to, I think y'all use the word be thirsty.
Yeah, be thirsty.
You don't
That
have
way.
to do that,
Not at all.
because when you do that, you show up as somebody else.
Right.
That's
exactly.
not you. And you're beautiful. Like, we're beautiful.
Yes, ma'am.
And the person that is for you will come. But you have to have, you need to be focused on what is in your lap. And God knows you have that desire, and you need to tell him.
Yes.
Like, Lord, I want a man.
Okay.
I know that's
A
right.
good man,
Like,
not
I wanna-
just a man.
I don't want to be strong
But
by
I want-
myself.
I
but,
want the
oh,
man. I want the man that you have for
There we
me
go.
that fits.
Talk to him, sister, man.
Yes.
And I met my husband really, we were very, very young. And I thank God for it. He's a good man.
Yes.
Right? We together 31 years later.
Woo!
Oh,
Come on
yes.
now. Yes.
Congrats.
Yes.
So he's a
Right.
good man.
Okay. It's up and stuck sometimes.
It's not, yeah. It's not always up, but it is up.
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
We may plateau, but we keep climbing.
That's
right.
In our relationship. So I believe as young women, how you position yourself first is you need to know who you are. And you need to know who you are in God.
Mm-hmm.
You need to know who you are in God. You're the apple of his eye, right? He chose each and every one of us.
Yes.
And so when you know who you are in God, this male and female, out of that will come, and then men, and this is another thing when we talk, because honestly, I have an issue with the word female boss.
Okay.
Okay.
Talk about it. Let's talk about it.
I have an issue with that because how does that make a man feel when you're constantly talking about boss? It hits ears differently,
Yeah.
right? So my girlfriend, she thinks it's empowering, it's building up. I believe that, but I also believe it could be
Demasculating.
it can be, but it can also make a man. Men are fearful sometimes talking to women.
Yeah.
They
Okay.
get scared.
Way more than they want to admit.
Yeah.
Why we got the stage.
But if you know that, then you know you need to position yourself in a way where you can be approachable. Don't be. Oh, I want to say this word, but I don't want to say the word, but you know, the bad word. Don't be that. Yeah. Don't be that.
Yeah.
Don't be that. That's an imposter itself.
Yeah.
Right?
Really.
So if Ladrina is acting like that word, but I know you. That's not
Right.
you.
Right.
Knock it off.
Yeah.
Right.
Like just knock it
Yeah.
off. So you
It's
have
unnecessary.
You have to know who you are,
Yeah.
and you don't have to chase a man. It was not designed that way, and I'm old fashioned. Some traditions should never change. They will never change. It's just what you believe
Natural law.
and what you tap into. I know you
Yeah.
guys are on a different,
Yeah.
y'all,
But no, but see, that's.
but the foundation
Yeah.
is still the same.
Yeah.
You don't need to be chasing no man. If a man wants you, make his
But see,
behind work for you.
that's what a lot of
He
people
need to
don't
come
want
after
to talk
you.
about is the natural law of it. Like you said, it's some things that will never change because it's a natural law. Like they may dress it up and call it different things, but at the end of the day, it's still a male and a female. You know, whoever takes whatever energy, whichever side that you want to take, is still a natural balance when it comes to us as human beings, as people, and as females. And I feel like it's been also a mission of finding our femininity again, getting back, like you said, you don't got to be a viewer. Like these guys, a lot of them are really coming outside of themselves to even talk to you, even though you think they, corny and they're this and they're that. That still takes courage to talk to somebody who you don't know.
Exactly. It does.
Even amongst girls, I don't like meeting. I don't like meeting new females, honestly, as much as I'd rather walk up to a group of guys and speak to them than a group of females. Because you'll get that energy.
Come on now.
You'll get that negative energy, and you're sitting up there like, I just want to say, hey, I like your shoes.
But again, when you know who you are, you have the confidence to walk in the room and take up space.
And
Yeah.
not be concerned.
Right?
Yeah.
Your space, not consume the whole dang
right.
on room.
Right.
Take up your space, and then your light will shine.
Yes.
And whoever is supposed to be attracted to you
Will come.
will come.
Yes.
And something you said about, I had a thought like, if you know a guy is shy, but you know he giving you the eye,
Okay.
Yeah.
open, like if it's the right thing to do.
Right.
That's deep. I'm saying a lot.
No,
without saying
really.
the right
Yeah.
word.
That's knowing your
If
space, like you were saying.
If he got that on, it's not the right thing to
Yeah.
do.
Thank you.
Okay.
Talk that talk to him, sister.
Really
Yeah.
though. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you got women that prey on married men too.
Exactly.
I'm not
They
going
do.
there. I'm just
Okay.
saying. If
Right.
Go there. Sorry.
it's the right thing to do.
Go there. No.
Right though.
No.
But no,
I
that's
want to
right,
say
right.
too, it is very important. It's just a few things that I want to point out. So it's very important, number one, for the confidence to be there, right? As a woman, your confidence has to be built. I'm sorry. It's the woo. All right. Your confidence has to be there. So as a woman, when you're talking about taking up spaces in rooms, you have to, if you are a yes person, right? If you're a person that is concerned about the way that other people feel, your anxiety, your self-consciousness, it's there and it's present. And so getting to know yourself, understanding that that's the place that you'll be in, you have to actually get tools in your pocket to be able to address those types of rooms in order to move in those spaces, right? So if you have anxiety and you know that you're going to struggle when you are going and meeting these women, right? I can go and I'll call Erin, right? Erin's a friend of mine, and I'll say, Erin, you know what? I'm really struggling with connecting with other women. Is there anything that I do when you meet me that kind of turns you off from me? Is it the RBF? Because I have one of those, right? So now I have to be more intentional.
Really though.
I have to be more intentional about smiling. That's not taking any energy away from who I am at my core.
Right.
But if I can make some
really
small
improving.
adjustment,
That's crazy.
Yeah.
right, to really be able to be more approachable, people are a little bit less self-aware in those types of situations to be able to make those types of adjustments or changes. So I definitely wanted to make sure that we highlighted that. And then I also wanted to make sure that we highlighted, as women, it's okay to create safe spaces to be able to communicate.
Yes.
As a friend, I should be able to tell you that what you're doing is affecting me.
Thank you.
Right?
Yes.
And I should be able to communicate that without
getting
there
into
being
a fist fight.
Right. We shouldn't have
Or
to
throwing bottles of water.
or argue. We don't want our men to argue with us about our feelings. So why is it that when we would communicate with another woman, we want to argue about how we feel? What you said to me offended me. As a mother, if I set a boundary, right? And I feel like too, when we categorize ourselves and we separate ourselves as women a lot of times. And so because of that, right, we have our women that have kids. And I hear it so many times. It's like, oh, you don't have no kids, so you don't have an opinion, right? Or you don't have kids, so you can't tell me what. It's offensive first and foremost. And it's taking away someone else's knowledge.
Experience.
Or experience.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Or love.
Exactly. Because it can be
Taking away
love.
their love. Yeah.
Absolutely. And love is shown, as we know and we've seen over the years, in different ways and in different capacities. So we definitely want to make sure that as women, we're definitely being a little bit more intentional and aware about those things and who we are. You can still be your best self without offending somebody else.
Yes.
And if that person is offended and your intention was not to be that way, then that means that they're in a different space, in a different
There's a
spot
disconnect
in their life. Exactly. So don't be offended. Keep it pushing and be positive. Be positive. Perfect. Yes. We have another boss in the building real quick, y'all. So we want to make sure that we introduce her. Miss Kisa is in the building. I'm going to allow you to introduce yourself. You and Erin can definitely share mics there. But go ahead and let the people know who you are and what kind of boss you are.
So, I am Kisa. My apologies for just arriving, but this boss just landed from Panama.
Okay. Yes. It's the flights for me.
It took a little bit longer than planned. But, so, what was our question?
So one, introduce yourself, your business.
Kisa, my name is Kisa Wilkie. I am a customer experience consultant, and so we put together processes and things that our guests and customers and patrons should experience without even knowing that they should experience that.
I know that's right.
Yes.
Mind reader.
Come on now.
I try. So sociologist by heart, but really about people enjoying the moment and living in the moment and being very, very intentional about what they do and how they do it. Let's see, what else?
Yes. All right. So the question for you, I'm gonna go ahead and transition this just a little bit. So there is a word that is triggering for women in our generation. It starts with an S. Can anybody guess?
A triggering S word.
Submissive. That's the word. So it's just a little bit triggering for women in our generation, and I want to have a little bit of conversation about why. But Kisa, I want you to talk to me a little. What do you hear the word submissive? As a woman, what does that mean to you?
I think it's about delivery, right? I think the way it's said and delivered today, that it almost seems like cavemanish, like, and that's not the intention of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there is some balance in being submissive, and it's just kind of like, submit. When someone says that, you're like, wait a minute.
Okay.
I am me. Like, what do you mean?
Exactly.
Submit?
Right.
But I don't think people really understand what it means to be submissive and to be a good partner.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean cave and do what I say. That's not the intention, but I think its delivery in the current media
Yeah.
is perceived that way.
Right.
And people
In that
like are
climate.
misled into thinking like, me Tarzan, you Jane. Like, that's not what
Yeah.
Yes. I love that analogy, Tarzan and Jane. I'm here
Yeah.
for it. Aaron, I want to talk to you a little bit. What you don't have to disclose if you don't want to, but as a woman, are you currently in a relationship? And when you hear the word submissive, what does that mean to you?
My boyfriend's over there.
Okay, hey, boo.
Oh Lord.
What does submissive mean to me? I feel like when you can submit to someone who is able to lead you.
Thank you.
Making sure
Yes.
that they're okay, making sure that they're all good. Like, I don't feel like it has to be like this weird thing that people are like, I'm not submitting to nobody. Like, I understand that women are in a different space today, and that's good and that's all cool. But I feel like in the simplest terms is just making sure that the person that you're with is taken care of along with yourself.
Right.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Nate, come on now. You over there crossing your arms. Talk to me real quick. Submissive. When you hear that word, what do you feel?
Should she be? I mean, like she said, people take it the wrong way, but there's also people that make it seem that way. You know what I'm saying? So as far as should you, I stand on no. Can you? Yes. It depends on if that man is giving you something to submit to. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Okay.
Because if you're not getting that, then
Or
what's the point of
woman.
these? What's the point?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it is men out there that's, no, I need, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And when they get around their homeboys, you trying to turn it up a notch. Hold on.
Right.
Nah,
Yeah.
Trying to
hold
flex
on.
a little bit.
Yo.
Nah, we ain't even running out there. You know, what's up, G-Way? We're not even doing that. We're not
Yeah.
even doing that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, can she? Yes. Should she? Like she said, depending on the man you have. It's always a honeymoon stage, so wait till that phase over with, baby.
That way.
Wait till that
That
honeymoon
way.
phase over
Yeah.
with to see should you really submit.
Yeah.
You know?
Don't just jump in there.
Nah,
Yes,
nah.
baby.
Don't.
Sure thing,
and
baby.
I'm lesbian, and I know that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
baby.
you know,
Now, real quick, I want to talk to our mommies real quick. And I know we have another guest that joined us. Gata is in the building. Is Gata in the building? Gata is in the building. There she is. Hey, come on in the building. You want to come in the room? You gonna come in the room? Come on, we about to get to your. We about to get you to introduce yourself, and then we gonna also get to your questions in just a few minutes. So we are gonna talk to the moms right now, really quickly. So the moms, if you're a mom and you have a son, please raise your hand.
Boy, mom.
Okay, we need the boy moms in the building. We're gonna talk to the boy moms really. So we heard a little bit about following, and when it comes to the word submissive, we heard that you have to have a man who is a leader essentially. And so as women who are raising sons, whether that be with your village or by yourself as a single mom, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about what you're doing to raise your sons in this generation of women. And then do you take accountability for his shortcomings as a mom and as a woman when you see him potentially not treating a woman in a way that they should be treated? First question.
I guess that was a
First
couple of
question.
questions.
First question.
First question.
Lead
Right?
witness.
Where my mama's at?
Okay.
First
yes.
question.
What's the first one?
First one is
break that up.
how do you raise your sons in this generation of what we've heard to be masculine women?
Okay, so I have young sons, so I'm still learning. My babies are 11 and 9.
Okay.
So,
That's good ages.
right. Well, they pushing My 11-year-old is screaming preteen, and that's where it gets tricky. But for me, it's been okay. So more so my background, right? I grew up in a house of all girls. My mom had 3 girls, even though my dad had 8 kids. I have 7 sisters, 3 brothers. But all in all, I didn't grow up with men in my household for the most part. My mom was married off and on. They never stayed. So about being a female, I don't know how to raise, men because I wasn't around them enough. So in my mind, it's been my goal to get them their fathers in their life, although we don't always agree on what masculinity is and what you should be teaching young boys, but he is there. So it's been my task to get them around other male influences that can show them things that I can't teach them how to. I'm adamant on a woman can't raise a man. I'm sorry. I know there's a lot of single moms who's like, I did great. But a woman can't raise a man. You're a woman. You can't tell a man how to be a man like a man can't tell a female how to be a female. So it's been my task to get them around men who I feel like can teach them, whether it's about their body, hygiene, how to deal with people, other things like that. So just like I said, me as a young mom, that's been my strategy so far. Ask me in about 10 years what the responsibility level is and how I feel about that part. But so far, that's my strategy. I'm sticking to it.
There we go. All right, strategy. I'm here for it. All right.
Go ahead. Hey, y'all. So this is Gator. I'm tapping in. Gator the Goddess. Thank y'all for letting me join in. This particular question I was interested in because I am raising 2 young men also. They're the same ages as yours. Mine is 11 and one just turned 10, so they're back to back.
Awesome.
For me, I can't say that a woman cannot raise a man because you can. Women do it every day. But I do feel like it is important to connect them to positive male role models, whether it's their father or someone else.
Right.
And if the father isn't a positive role model, you definitely need to find someone that is.
Right.
So with my boys, with me, I'm kind of more of a tomboy, so I am not twerking in front of my kids and, exposing them to certain things that, feminine things that other females might expose their kids to, their sons to. So for them on that part, with me and them, it's a little bit more easier. But I have seen differences with my parenting with them and then their father.
Okay, yeah.
They respond differently. They're gonna try me in ways that they wouldn't try him.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it is important to have a positive male role model there, but I do it every day. You know what I'm saying? Raising them, and they respect me. They, value. I feel like they value my input and stuff like that. One thing that I am learning and realizing with them is like, you can be soft to boys. You need to. You need to be. You don't want them to feel like they have to be so hard
all
and
the
stuff
time.
like that,
Yeah.
Let them express themselves. My 2 boys are totally different. I had to learn that too as a parent. Like, I might can fuss at the one and he gets it and he gonna correct it. I fuss at the other one, he gonna
lock up. Yeah.
So just as long as you know your children individually and, formulate a parenting strategy for them individually also, it makes it easier.
Yes. Thank you so much for that.
Absolutely.
Appreciate that.
So this is Kisa. So I'm at the opposite end of the spectrum from you all. So I have a young adult.
Yes.
So I've been through all of these challenges and mountains and valleys, and I will tell you, I agree that I felt like a woman cannot raise a man. So when my son hit middle school, when I thought I was going to need Xanax.
Don't say that.
Yeah, middle school is crazy. So I was like,
that's next year for us.
Yeah.
And at that time, his dad was living in Tennessee. So I was like, go be with your dad, raise your son. And, what I didn't realize, though, he thought that I was sending him away. Because I was like, no, you really needed to be around your dad and have influence.
Yeah.
He didn't like it. He came back home, so I did put him in a couple of mentoring organizations so that he could have that positive male.
Right.
But we get to high school, right?
Yeah.
and things change.
Uh-oh.
And the influences are different.
Right.
And you have all of these peers that are influencing you and saying things. And so it got a little crazy for a moment.
Yeah.
And it got into the, you can't tell me what
Puffing the chest
Yeah,
out.
I'm rebellious.
Yeah.
I know what I'm doing. And so now we are, we graduate, we're past 18. Now we just turned 24.
Oh, wow.
And so I've had to consistently reinforce some of my boundaries.
Yeah.
And because what I've come to learn is that because I was a single parent, I didn't realize it, but we were codependent. In an interesting way.
Yes.
And you and all these different things, the controlling, the fussing, like those are all signs of codependency.
Right.
And I didn't realize that. And so now I've just like dropped the veil.
Yeah.
And both of my young adults, they're like, so when are things gonna go back to normal? I'm like, this is the new normal.
Right.
This is like what
Yes.
we're doing. Like,
Yeah.
I have given you all the tools. We have worked on character building.
Yes.
So when it comes to treating women, I will say this: my son, he does know how to treat a woman. I mean,
That's
I went
awesome.
to the airport tonight.
Yeah.
He hopped out that car.
Yes,
he grabbed my
got the
bag.
bag.
So he
Yes.
knows
That's
those
what I'm
things
talking
to do.
about.
So
Awesome.
chivalry is not dead.
Yes.
Right.
But there are things like,
For sure.
I want to say, why are you driving with the phone in your hand? But then I said to myself, he is not 16. He is grown.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is people making decisions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just have to stand down and stand
Yeah.
on that.
Okay.
So it's the dynamic is different
Awesome.
now, but
Right.
it's just interesting. But at the end of the day, his father and I, we all still, it's weird co-parenting young adults.
Yeah.
But
okay.
we do. We try to stay on the same page about
Yeah.
different issues that we're having, different topics that come up.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I handed that responsibility over to Dad. Like, I'm like,
Yeah.
I carried the ball as
Right.
far as I could to the goal line. Like,
Yeah.
you got to go make the touchdown.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
That's dope.
We appreciate that.
I'm sorry if I can ask a question. What does character building look like with a child? You said that y'all done it, and I know you can't hear me because this craziness. Thank you. Character building. You said that. What do that look like? Like, what did you do?
For me, it was really about, there were some values that I had, that how I was raised. I mean, just simple things like, so it's really about setting expectations.
Okay.
So things like chores and like I tell him, the trash comes on Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't have to remind you. You know this already.
Right.
So it's really about setting expectations, which helped to kind of foster some of the character things that he needed. Being kind, being humble, like those are things that are strong morals in my household. Like, and they always know that one of my sayings is probably drives them crazy, but we do not operate in mediocrity in my house.
I know
Okay.
that's right. One more time for the one time.
Yeah, that's good.
We do not, and so they understand that, and so they know that there's a level that they need to constantly reach, and it's not to meet my needs, but I've already explained, like, here's the way society sees things.
Yes.
Right? And
Most
so
importantly.
you got to meet them part of the way. You can't, because think about it. We as a people, the moment you walk into a room, right?
Yeah.
Judgment is already passed.
Exactly. Yeah,
Then
we
you
were talking
layer
about
that
that.
on, you're a person of color.
Right.
Yeah.
Then you add something crazy on, like, you got dreads. Like, why should that be that?
Exactly.
But it happens,
It's true.
right?
That's
it
wild.
happens. And so, right, I've got to, like, I've always worked to set the stage, set the scene of, this is how things are going to play out. Now, what are you going to do?
Right.
Right.
Tell me how you can benefit you, and I'll tell you how I can help you, but only when you ask me for that help.
Thank you. Okay.
And so they get that now, and they totally
Yeah.
understand. So I've had to, like, just do different, think about, like, the Cosby Show, right? There were so many values and lessons laid.
There was.
And so I've had to make it, like, real world, but not be so, authoritarian and, like, this is what you do. Like, that doesn't work.
That's
And
where I'm
especially in today's
struggling.
society.
Yeah, not to be so hands-on. Like,
You know what you have to do? You have to ask. you know, when they do things that are like, you're like, what in the world?
You know better.
But you have to say, okay, now tell me why you did that, because I'm just trying to understand.
Okay.
And so now that I said that for like the last decade,
Yeah.
they're like, oh yeah, I wasn't thinking.
Okay. Because now you're forcing them in a position where they have to think about, well, why did I do that?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Awesome. I love it. All right, Miss Mimi.
What's the question again?
So the question is, well, first and foremost, can you raise your son to be a man?
Yes and no.
Okay. Elaborate.
There are things that we as women bring to the table as nurturers. Kids feel they can be more vulnerable, you know, with mom. They can be vulnerable with dad too, but they can be more vulnerable. Like my boys can't cry with me.
Yeah.
But when they get around their dad, maybe not so. Right. You know what I'm saying? Not that he doesn't allow that. It's just the way it has been.
That's the guy
like,
energy.
Men don't cry, but they do cry.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, I say yes and I say no. There are certain things I can't teach them. You know, by example either. I can't teach them because I'm a woman.
Right.
I'm all woman. But I can. I will say one thing that. One of many things I was adamant about is them knowing how to be respectful towards women, period.
Yes, ma'am.
Whoever they are. You open the door. You carry the bag. You know what I'm saying? You pay for the meal. But there's balance with that. But you pay for the meal. You're the man. You show up as a leader. You are a leader.
Thank you.
This is who you are. And so, you know, you have to give them the tools. You know, as whatever you got to give them, you got to give it to them the best way you know how. We're all different. We're all raised different. You know what I mean? So
for sure.
I just with my sons, I was hard on them but I parented from fear. I parented from fear with all three of my kids.
Yeah.
And so the first part, especially the older two, they had it pretty hard because I was rough. I was very strict, but that's how I was raised.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So when they got older, my youngest son I feel like he got the best part of me and his dad because the first two, we were practicing. We had never been parents before, so we had no idea what we were doing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then breaking those generational curses. So
definitely.
teaching them that, and I'm like her, you know, like building character, it comes with tasks, right? But my main thing is respect. Like, I hate disrespect. And when I say I hate, I go into a full rage. I don't like disrespect at all because it's unnecessary, even if you don't know what it means. It's unnecessary.
Right.
You have to know how to respect women.
Anybody.
And I know women. My boys better know how to respect women or I'm coming for them.
Y'all heard that?
Y'all
Y'all heard that?
Really,
I don't play games like that.
Yes.
You will not disrespect a woman. You need to know how to. You're stronger. You bigger.
Bigger. Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? You really are. I mean, it's some women that could probably whoop
Okay,
their tail, but I'm saying,
but that takes skill over their
Okay.
raw manpower.
I will.
You gotta
Y'all
have a
heard
little
what she said. She said, "Cause I will." That's
I
what she
will.
said.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would know. Really, my boys probably tear my butt up, but I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I want them to show up fully man, but gentle.
Yeah.
Right.
And there's a balance.
There's
just
a
like
skill.
Yes.
Thank you. It's a
not a
skill.
balance.
That's not a
Don't y'all like
balance.
the balance?
Not because it can be
Everything
learned.
we do is skill. It's skill based. You can do whatever you want to do. You know, you can have self control. You can have respect. You know, you can be vulnerable. It's a skill. You got to get past your stuff.
Right.
And know who you are. And
you have
be
to want
okay with that.
Yeah,
So
one
if
and
you're a
two.
young man and your dad never let you cry, boy, you better man up. I used to hear my granddaddy say that to my cousins all the time. What the heck does that mean?
Right.
His feelings hurt.
Right. He's a person. He's a
That's
person.
what I never understood.
gonna
Why
happen.
they say men can't cry. I never understood that. They're like they're not supposed
Well,
to
it
cry.
means something different. So each man in
It
here
means
could probably
something
tell you
different.
something
Yeah.
different what that means. But I know for me, I wanted my sons to feel safe to cry.
Right.
And I opened that space up for them to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Just
to share their emotions.
A lot of people don't know, like, we just didn't know. We didn't know.
Yeah. Right.
We didn't know how to do
You
it.
don't know
what you don't know. Exactly.
Let me say this. You bring up an interesting point about, we need to be nurturers. Quick anecdote. My father was born in the late 30s.
Oh, wow.
When he was 3 years old, his mother passed away. He was the baby of 11. Everyone was older.
Yep.
So he didn't get that nurturing component.
Yep.
Wow.
I grew up, he was an absolutely great provider. So like things that we needed, the house, the cars, the uniform, the school, he did that. Took care of all that.
Yep.
He was a baby.
But because he didn't have that love and nurturing from a mother, he been married 4 times.
Yep.
Yeah.
He was not.
So that's so important. That's what we bring to the table. They learn that,
Right.
And so I'm big into
dealing
genealogy,
with your
so I
partners.
started doing the research. And I come to find out when my grandmother died, my grandfather went on down the street and hooked up with the neighbor.
Yep.
And he left these kids in the house.
Yep.
So my aunts raised my dad. And so when he graduated from high school, they kind of forced him into his first marriage because they were like,
We gotta
"We're
go.
done with
Yeah.
this."
Yep.
And so it just kind of, not until marriage number 4, it was like,
realized.
oh, now I
I
get
get
it.
it.
I'm capable of being loved.
Yeah.
So
Right.
you have to deliver some degree of
Right.
nurturing.
Yeah.
And balance that with,
Yeah.
manhood
Yeah.
as well.
Because everything is taught. Like, at the end of the day, like you were saying, Miss Mimi, everything is a skill because it's taught. Like, we're born blank slates. We learn from the moment we come out, from how we're handled, how our parents treat us, how much they feed us, how much they pick us up. How many other people are running around. We're computers. So we have to program that into our sons. And that's one thing that is good. I would say one thing that the male race is headed towards, they are headed more into those feelings. They're starting to express a little bit more. They're starting to speak up a little bit more.
Emotional intelligence, I think, in
There
our
we go.
generation
Emotional intelligence.
is
yes.
definitely becoming more common
Yeah.
across the board. So,
Yeah.
so our generation has exposed. So like Miss Mimi said, there were things that they just did not know.
Right.
So
Yeah.
men were told, you hold your feelings in, and but now they're being taught it needs to be a safe space.
Exactly.
And so as women, I
Yeah.
think we get very defensive. I know me personally, I've gotten defensive because I've asked my guy friends like, hey, why don't y'all talk to me? Like,
Yeah.
I'm approachable. I made it easy for y'all to talk.
Right.
Like, if you need to talk, just talk. But they don't feel that it's a safe space for them to be able to
Yeah.
talk for whatever reason.
And that energy you just exuded, I'm telling him, just talk.
Right.
That's scaring them off.
Right. They get defensive automatically. It's like, no, I don't.
scaring them
I want to
off.
talk when I want to talk and when I'm ready to talk. And so, as women, we have to understand that as well. Just like we have to know where we are, it's important for you to know where your partner is as well in their journey, so that you can even identify whether or not those paths are going to clash or submerge.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's a difference.
Yeah.
You can grow together or you can grow apart, but you
That is
have
so
to be
wild. Yeah.
intentional about
Just
that
talked about
growth.
that. Exactly.
And a lot of times our generation isn't very intentional about actions.
Right.
When it comes to every action have a reaction. We've heard that in science. We've heard that in our
Yep.
parents' generation. They tell us all
Really,
the time.
math,
And you guys even
reading,
said it. The way that you teach your kids was to teach them by letting them go through trials, letting them go through tribulations. Our generation is becoming a lot more emotionally intelligent. And so because of that emotional intelligence, it gives us more tools to be able to deal with a lot of those life factors that may not have allowed you guys to have those successful relationships in the end.
Yeah.
What do you think, Sonny? Yeah. You like that? Okay.
Yeah, no,
Like
for
she said,
sure.
like, you gotta have balance. She said that. You said that it's some things that y'all didn't know, right? So it's like when the men get older, when the boys get older, at some point it don't even matter what you taught them, because they're gonna do what they want to do. So even though men back then was told not to cry, they still opened doors. They still did the simple things that you're not going to get. You're not going to get that now unless you have a man. You can have a man that's in his 40s, 30s, that's act like boys. So like I say, I said you have some women that's little girls, and you have little girls that's women. You know what I'm saying? And that's just true. So once they get to a certain age, it's kind of out of your hands. That's your child, but it's out of your hands because he makes his own decisions. Right. So you can teach them that. Then you're gonna look at. I know I taught you better. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I don't have no kids, but that's just how it is. Not only with men, but with women too. And that's when you get that type of man, that's when the women start to be the B word. Like you said, you know what I'm saying? And then that's when you start.
You said that's when the women start to be the what?
Be the B word. Like
the B word.
We were talking B word. You know what I'm saying? Because she said don't be the B word.
The B word.
But yeah, so it's kind of like you said, it's kind of like balance.
Yeah.
Because once they get to a certain age, it's just like you don't be knowing what to expect from a man for real.
Yeah.
So I feel like in our generation, a word that is not often we're not familiar with is accountability, right?
Oh, for sure.
So when it comes to accountability, right, as a parent, where does that accountability start to shift? Right, where you're saying, because I heard you say, he's an adult, he makes his own decisions. But as a mom, as a woman, right, when your son is sitting there with 10 kids, when do you step in and say, listen, son, enough is enough?
So I will forever be mom. Everybody's not going to agree with me with this. But it is my responsibility if I see my child going off a cliff, bro, I'll address it. Not every time.
Right.
Not every time. But there are times when I would say we both are like, come here. You know what I mean?
Right.
So my kids, I feel like I will forever be accountable to my mom and my dad.
Yeah.
And I'm 52. It doesn't end. It's to me, society now says, okay, there's boundaries, right? There's so much in that. I'm just saying it now, like we should always be accountable to those authorities that God has put in your life.
Right.
And just because I'm grown, I'm married, I have kids, I work. If my dad calls me right now while I'm right here and he says, hey, look here, blah, 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 I'm going to be out. He said, I need you to come. I got to go, Ladrina. Thank you. It was nice to meet y'all. And I'm out.
Right.
You understand? Because it's still there. My husband with his mom, listen.
Yeah.
And I feel like you got kids raising kids. That's number one. And then you got some people that just probably shouldn't have never had kids, but they got kids.
So now they gotta deal with it.
They ready to be done.
Yeah.
And so they feel like, oh, I've done my job. I ain't gotta do nothing else. Now you grown. No, your job never ends.
Right.
It becomes easier.
Yeah. With experience, it should be easier.
With experience, it should become easier if you've done your work. But you can't be a lazy parent. You gotta be active.
Yeah.
You gotta speak to those things when your kids are acting stupid.
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes, like she said, oh, hey, what's wrong? Before you come aggressive. But sometimes she was saying you got to beat one. What's your name? Yeah. Me. You were saying with one, you could be aggressive and the other one you can't.
Right.
My daughter, again, my daughter's the oldest.
Yeah.
Then I have a son under her. I was like off the chain with them. but my daughter needed the softer approach.
Yeah.
But she got the belt.
Okay.
Yeah. And she got it every time because I had no other tool.
Right. Yep. Yeah.
I didn't know I could sit down and have a conversation with her to see what was wrong with her.
Right.
I didn't know until I got saved and I had a mentor.
Yeah.
Who taught me parenting skills.
Exactly, taught because it's all skills.
And that's how it be. Like you just like my mom, because my mom, she was the same way with me, because like I said, like I dropped out of high school and I was the one like, I'm not coming home, so now she got to call the police department because I done got locked up, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's really what it was. But I started to hold that on my shoulders as I got older with her being my mom. And my mom, all her kids grown. She don't care how grown it is. She posts to this day, bother my kids. They ain't got to do nothing. I'm coming. That's just, and you know what I'm saying? So it's like I held it on my shoulders as I got older because I was like, dang, it is my fault because you want your kids to come talk to you, but we won't. So they never knew what was going on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you didn't say nothing.
Yeah.
You only
But that's
know
'cause you
because
didn't
my
know to give them a safe
because
space.
my sister came and told you,
Yeah.
pull up Tasha's sleeves and see
Right.
what's going on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's how, you know,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
gotta, that's how I take
Yeah.
control. And, you
Right.
know,
Yeah.
But see, it's funny because you mentioned what really Miss Mimi, you as well. A lot of people don't really take into account when it comes to the parent being responsible for the child, or not exactly responsible, but but giving that safe space for the child to go and address the parent as well. Like, hey, mom, dad, you know, I don't. That doesn't really help me. I don't understand. You yelling at me, I still don't get it. You whoop me, I still don't get it. Like, we didn't know. Yeah, a lot of people didn't know to give their children that safe space, like you said, so you could go and talk to your mom. And that's one thing that I try to practice with my boys because, again, I didn't have that in my family. Like, you couldn't. Nah, you a kid. We know what's bad. We know. I was a kid before, so I know what you're going through. But you may have an idea, but you don't know what I'm going through because you're not me.
Right.
So that same responsibility goes being a child with a parent. Like, that's always going to be your parent. And parents make mistakes too. You know, we're not always right. So giving your child that safe space to be like, mom or dad, that hurts me, or mom and dad, that hurts my siblings. That's just as important, and that never ends. So it really works both ways. I feel like our community is just now learning that it does work both ways, that you can actually open it up.
Yeah.
I totally agree. I think that it's imperative that safe spaces, right, whether that be for a male, a female, a child, whatever it is. So as a woman, as a person in general, how do you allow those around you to know that it's a safe space for them to be able to communicate with you? And then have you ever been in a situation where you may not have been receptive or been a safe space for someone, and were you able to kind of clear that up? Anybody can kind of answer that one, tackle that one. But first and foremost, how do you
the
create
thing
safe
is,
spaces?
I do it too much.
Okay.
To the point where I had to tell myself that I can't be available to those that don't want it no more.
Okay.
Because one thing, when I was going to the psychiatrist, they say you have separation anxiety. So she can be my bestest friend, but if we fall out, I'm gonna try to figure out why and try to fix it, because that's what it comes with, and it takes a big toll on me. So it's like, now I'm just to the point where, like, okay, especially with growing up, because I took myself off my medicine. I was like, I was born and raised in the church, for one. I got a praying grandmother, so it's kind of like everything that I'm going through now is kind of like because of her. So now it's kind of like, I love you, you're my friend, and I keep telling you, not in no aggressive way. I might spark one up with you, just chill, come sit in the car, we can listen to some music, come talk, whatever we got to do. But if you don't do it,
Right.
and I keep saying and showing, not only saying but showing, because action speaks louder than words.
Right, exactly.
Right.
What else can I do?
Yeah.
And that's something that I know, because I'm going through a lot, but keeping it in my head. That's why my mind is my biggest enemy.
Yeah.
I'm my biggest enemy. I don't care about nobody else. It's me. So
Right.
it's like that's just to answer your question. It's just point blank period.
You gotta
Yeah.
know
To a
it's
certain
a
point,
limit.
it's a limit.
to
To a certain
creating
point, you
safe
just
space.
you have to stop it.
Yeah.
Because you're like, that comes with the self-care. You're you're pouring into somebody else's cup. You're not even feeling it on your own. You're asking this person how they're feeling, trying to have full conversations and understand. When
Right.
you not even understand what's going on in your head when you broke down 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
But you're more concerned about this person. I had to tell myself that, because that's something that really, you know what I'm saying?
Affected, yeah.
I have a lot of triggers. So
Yeah.
for me, it triggers me.
Yeah.
Like, I love you, but I can't.
Right.
When you ready to talk, I'm
Yeah,
there.
I'll
I'll
be there.
pull up on you.
Right.
But right now, I can't. You know what I'm saying? You have to want to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm available. But you gotta want to do it.
Okay,
Yeah.
come on now in your bag
Yeah.
with your self-care.
Creating
That's what I'm
that
talking about.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like to say, providing a safe space to others. You could tell somebody all the time, like, you can come talk to me, you can come talk to me. But if you don't display that energy, you get what I'm saying? It's really more about actions and energy than anything.
Yes,
Because
ma'am.
You can tell somebody, yeah, come talk to me.
Exactly.
But if I'm like,
right? You can come talk to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You might just want to. You might want the information as
No.
fuel. You get what I'm
Right.
saying? So if you're not displaying it in like full genuine energy, like a person is really just not gonna feel safe enough to really come.
Exactly.
Or if they do.
Hold on 1 second.
They got a loud band out there?
I hope not.
That's what it sounds like.
It sounds like
a
it.
loud band out there.
Yeah.
That's why.
I'm taking the headphones off.
You sorry, that was a little wild.
Let me see what y'all hear. Every-
I'm good.
I'm good.
Not at
What
all.
else?
You're not
I had
happy.
to take that
We
off.
sharing the studio.
Your joint was just loud.
And we
Good about race.
Yeah, it was
not
like in
supposed
your
to-
ear. You
Everything. Yeah.
I don't know. I
Yeah,
can't
it's
hear anything.
So
Yeah,
go.
y'all, this is not normal. I promise. It's
At
not
all.
normal.
I
For
already
real.
know.
Not normal at all. All right.
I would say showing up in a safe space is just being available to listen, not trying to be the solution or find the solution.
yeah.
But just want to talk.
Yeah, like a lot of times when you do provide a safe space, you need to, if somebody coming to you to talk, you need to ask them up front, do you want my opinion? Or do you just want me to
Ooh,
listen?
I'm just learning that
Sometimes
one.
people
Yeah.
might just want to vent. I don't want your
I want you to say that one more time because that's
Right.
important for people to really listen to.
Absolutely.
Is how to address these conversations. So say that. Elaborate on that one more time.